Hey! All right, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. It's the Truth Serum. You know the hair's going to be wild sometimes. First and foremost, thank you, everybody, for your support in any ways you've supported me. Thank you. The numbers are going up. I'm having a lot of fun. Put a lot of videos in, a little time, a lot of work in it. And hey, it's coming around. And I really appreciate it. And uh, Candinas, Team Candinas, thank you for the super chats. I appreciate that. So having a lot of fun. The numbers are going up, and we're gonna keep rocking and rolling. And I was watching, John Alite and John Gotti Jr. were buddies, and it's like, what happened uh, with them? They're talking smack back and forth, but like the sit down with Jeff Nadeau, he's a researcher, and he gives a pretty even keel level playing field of facts and misconceptions. He does it pretty fairly, not trying to favor one guy or another, and he might just leave it up to the viewer to make their opinion. At the end of the day, it's just a soap opera. That's all. It's a soap opera. He's a good information man. That the sit down. I don't like the sit down though. The sit down with Jeff Nadeau. Brother, if you watch this, you have a great channel. I just get a little shriek when this word sit down, like Mike Francis with this sit down, don't. I view it different. It's a sacred word. It's a more sacred word, but you have a good channel. You rock and roll, and I like the info you put out there, whether I like your channel name or not. So big deal. Just makes me think about Mike Francis with all his sit down bull crap. But that's irrelevant. That's neither here or there. And John Alite made a lot of claims about a lot of different things, and I said he's the one I want my foxhole. And um, there were Jeff Nadeau sits and clarifies that he's talked to 4 or 5 other people out there, or either directly or indirectly, and said John Alite was a dangerous and feared guy. So John Gotti Jr. could sit up there and say, "Oh no, he did this, whatever, blah blah blah," and the Brazilian prison stories, blah blah blah, and all that, and he could say it was all just embellishment and everything. Alite didn't want to pay the piper for his deeds, so he testified against John Jr. so he could pay. True, true. Everybody you see on there cooperated, more or less. Your personality and heroes, YouTube heroes, they most of them cooperated, and however they fit into the schema of things, or who's your favorite guy. But John Jr. and Alite, he was one of the best. He was one of the standing men at the wedding. At the weddings, their family, they were tight. They were tight. A lot of people on the other side of the fence want to say John Alite he was an associate. He couldn't get made in. Now there was a lot of associates that could just be labeled associates and not made into a family. Yeah, and and then he could lie about how many murders or the Brazilian prison, and then you can fact check. John Gotti Jr. spent thousands of dollars going back and researching all these claims that John Alite was making, because he's just said he's just but John Jr. will never watch this. John Jr. will never watch this. John Alite has watched my videos. John Jr. should realize the YouTube game, and it's a hustle. Now, you're a Gotti, and you know rackets, and somebody's going to be out there lying, and get deals, Netflix deals, because they're just riding the wave. The public does not care anymore about fact checking and all of that, who's lying and who's not. Hey, Michael K. My dignitaries are in here today. So if you're looking at the psychology of a YouTube viewer, John Gotti Jr., you did all that research, but they don't care if John Alite is lying. The verdict is already in. The guy, he has his team of loyal people, and other higher network type of media companies are piggybacking it. They don't care if John Gotti Jr. fact checks that John Alite was lying about everything, whether he was or not, or the sit down with Jeff Nadeau, or whether at the end of the day, it means squat. It's like I was like a ladies in a knitting circle going, oh, that liar, you know, that Mike Francis. I'm like a little gossiping lady in a knitting circle, you know, and then I do respect Jeff Nadeau and his sit down channel name, but he will never, ever, ever, ever be able to put himself in the same position of being in that life. No matter how he does great research, he does everything. He's informative. He can be the king of all that, like R.J. Roger. But no disrespect, you can never feel the mentality and the psychology and the mental hopscotch of being around these types of guys. You might be able to make a good judgment or assessment and all that, but believe me, you know, when you're saying, well, I would believe that this is a fact about John Alite and this is a lie, or John Gotti Jr., this is a fact. John Gotti Jr. spent $7,000 just trying to get backup information on John Alite just to bash him or discredit him. And of course, John Alite cooperated and all that kind of stuff. But that soap opera of cooperation and everything else, well, you can't feel like being a YouTube reporter, Jeff. God bless you. You can't feel that life. You could sit back and be an armchair quarterback, but you will never feel the emotionality of how he became a rat, what the pressures were, what this or that. You can guess and get 75,000 views on your channel, but I don't mind Armchair Quarterback YouTube channel. I mean, I wasn't a made guy, but I was around these psychopaths. I was around these people. And that's why Mike Francis can't get any curveballs by me. No. But then at the end of the day, when you gain your senses and catch your breath, it's like it's a soap opera. You have to be entertaining and you have to give some information out. And now, did John Gotti Jr. cooperate? John Gotti Sr. is the last of the real mobsters that will ever come around. The rest of the guys, it's like romper room. That's all. It's just, you know, you got to go change somebody's diapers. That's all. And this genre will burn out. The YouTube mob genre will burn out like a whisper in the wind. Everybody will die off, and then you need some new fangled content. That's all. And I respect RJ Roger with his information, off the top of your head. And Jeff Nadeau. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You could give the stories and information. Yeah. And he did it very eloquently and fair when he was talking about who's lying, who's this and that between John Gotti Jr. and John Alite. Put the information out there, but we don't need to know what your opinion might be. I'd rather hear it from an ex-wise guy, a neutral wise guy, ex-wise guy, me. That's all. Yeah, John Sr. was Cosa Nostra right to the end. I'm not trying to discredit any of these armchair quarterback YouTube channels. No. But if I look at it as being Big J Biz, I look at it like you don't have a right to. You weren't in the life. You weren't in the world. I got old wise guys that are 70, 80 years old that want to smash me in the mouth saying, what are you doing on there? What are you doing on there? Like, I don't even qualify. I don't even qualify. I got old captains and psychopaths that are 75, 80 years old that tell them I don't even qualify to be on here, let alone an armchair quarterback being up there that never was around the life. I don't have any personal animosity or any anger toward these armchair quarterbacks. They're very good information. They're good at gathering information and all that. But at least RJ Roger has a wise guy, Mikey Scars. So they're spot on. I'm not trying to dismiss Jeff Nadeau or anything else, but me, I don't care about hearing a local guy. He's a good guy, good man. I don't care about that. He's got more views than me, but I'm just saying personally, I'd rather hear it from a wise guy from the Lucchese or Genovese or Gambino or Colombo. I'd rather hear when they take this information in, me personally. That's all. I mean, I don't want to get like a psycho, crazy, angry mother grabber, like, because this was a secret life. It was a secret life when now you got outsiders with YouTube channels that are like trying to analyze it. Really? Really, Billy? Really? Really? Forgive me. Everybody has a right to do a channel, but, John Alite might be more of who you think he is or less of what you think he is. John Jr. might be more of what you think he is or less of who you think he is. But they're hustlers. They're hustlers and con artists. Is it that far-fetched if John Alite was lying? Is it that far-fetched if John Gotti Jr. was lying? Jeff? Come on, bro. But I'm old-fashioned. I'm old school. At least I wasn't. I was running around, and I had intimate relationships with these people, and I can elaborate on them as a 60-year-old. But and the old guys don't even like that. But when you got other just regular Joe Blow civilians speaking on it, I can compliment their information gathering abilities and all that. But at the end of the day, you're just a hardcore. You get viewers, it's entertainment, and that's the name of the game. Entertainment and viewers, you got more than me. But at the end of the game, me personally, whatever. You should be watching me. Watching me. That was around these guys, around them. Go just Google. If you got questions, Google it, because you could only get so many first account information. Any information gatherer, at least RJ Roger has Mikey Scars, and they do great. They do great. But every guy you see on YouTube, excluding me, The gangsters, they just were failed gangsters. They failed in their craft. I love you guys. I love you. Yeah. I love you guys, but you guys failed. You failed. I know a lot of gangsters that didn't fail in the mob. They didn't fail. They rode off into the sunset. They didn't fail. Then you end up with immunity on YouTube. So I look through this from a different lens. I look at it through a different perspective. And people could watch me or not. It's a buffet. You like this or that, you watch all that. But I like RJ Roger, armchair quarterback. He's an encyclopedia of knowledge, and he's got Mikey Scars. They bounce off each other. Hey, Francis. Good morning. So they bounce off each other. That's a good dynamic. You got a great interviewer, RJ, and then you got Mikey Scars, and they can give it back and forth. Jeff Nadeau ain't doing no interview with whoever. Maybe he does, but and he's good at it. He's good at it. I'm not trying to bash him. I'm just saying my preference would be if I want to hear an analysis on John Alite or John Gotti Jr., I'd rather hear it from somebody from the life with a more intimate relationship somewhere, a neutral relationship, and say, well, this or that. And then that would still be speculative. So, you can flip it, flop it, zig it, zag it. It's still speculation. And at the end of the day, who's watching who and what you're going to get out of it, Yeah, most people don't have any clue who those guys are. Yeah. Because you could be an information gatherer and say, oh, I looked this up in this historical account. Everything you go Google and look up as historical account, and then you hang your hat on that, and that doesn't solidify it as that to be fact. And these people know it because they're smart enough to know it. So you got historical accounts, you Google this, and you information gather, and then you can make assumptions about whether you agree with John Alite or it's so. In other words, I respect your channel, Jeff. In other words, you haven't said nothing. You haven't said nothing. You should have picked one. You should have at least picked one. A wise guy would have picked one. Well, I like John Gotti Jr. or I like John Alite Jr. or John Alite. I don't know. He's good at that craft, and he gets viewers, and he's good at data. I'm an older 60-year-old guy. I want to hear what a wise guy says about John Jr. and John Alite. That's me personal. That's just my personal opinion. John Alite and the Gottis were very close. There's many pictures around. There's many pictures around with John Alite, young John Alite in pictures, wedding pictures, different pictures. John Alite right there with the Gottis. You can't dispute that. Whether they want to say, well, John Alite was just held the umbrella and John Alite's full of crap. You can't dispute irrefutable evidence, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. So no matter what, he was intimate with that family. So however these people are, trying to figure out who's lying or not on the soap opera. Well, you can't refute the fact that John Alite, and there's 4 or 5 other guys that said John Alite was a feared mofo. So if John Gotti Jr. wants to go around and say, well, was he in this Brazilian camp and what happened there? Well, that's fine and dandy. You could put some some you could you can diminish some of that, yes. If John Alite embellished some things, well, it's YouTube. I mean, he's trying to raise a channel, so there is a shot that somebody might try to embellish something. So, but the core of that was true. So you can't really totally dismiss some of these things. So I will never change my opinion about John Alite because you don't have to tell me, like I said, I want John Alite in my foxhole. Yeah, because I'm smart enough to know what that guy was capable of doing. That's all. And yeah, he might have bull crapped it his way, and they're all jealous that he got all these media offers. Well, he's a good hustler. He's a good hustler. He got all these media offers. They don't care. Netflix does not care whether there was truth or fact. They might go back and do interviews about this and that, who wrote this book or that book and all that. But all they're trying to do is come up with a good story and sell as many uh, uh, a big demand for it, and that's it. Save all that other gossip about, oh, he was lying on Netflix. Who cares? They're at the bank counting the money. They're at the bank. Of course, John Alite's going to take advantage of a media platform. He's got proof and pictures of being with the biggest name in mob history, John Gotti. John Gotti. You got a few pictures hanging around with John Gotti. Well, then you can make millions. Just even if you were just happen to be a friend of a friend of a friend that was there, then you could embellish to the end of time and make money just for the fact that you were seen in pictures with John Gotti's family. That's all. Arian says, I just hate how these guys still act like they are tough guys. If you can't do the time and put others away in your place, you're no longer a tough guy. There's your tough guys, folks. They all cooperated. They cooperated. They free, and now they got other hustles, and they're making money. Some chose YouTube channels, and the secret life of the mafia. These guys are on YouTube. If I was a made guy, I don't know. If I took an oath of secrecy, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do. I would just do other topics. I would do other topics. If I took an oath to secrecy, I would do other topics. No, that's all. And I've been through it with a couple of older wise guy people that were telling me, "Oh, what are you doing? If your godfather was alive, well." And then he watched a couple. He says, "Go ahead, do it. You're entertaining." And then if you do some other subjects, just try to piggyback, get your subscribers up, and then get some guests, and then you can do a show, your talk show. You could run a talk show. That's all. It's a talk show. But I'm a little biased on some of the stuff and critique things and everything, and it's all a hustle. I had to learn myself about this genre and social media that it's a rodeo. It's a rodeo. You can knock these guys about who's this and who's that, and at the end of the day, they got more views and subscribers than me. So wake up, Truth Serum. That's the way it is. There's not who could. That's the nature of the beast when you get on here with old mobsters that cooperated. That's what you get. You're going to get all this confusion and lying and what's this? I like him. He's a liar. I like him. That's what you're going to get. That's the essence of this racket. Oh, well, geez, Joe, you never would imagine that an old wise guy would lie on social media. Of course they're going to lie on social media. Is that such a far-fetched concept? I mean, what the F? Don't be stupid, Joe. Get your weight up. Get your fighting weight up. Put some content on there and get in the game. If your numbers go up, they go up. Smarten up. So I wanted to do this John Alite versus John Jr. and that, and then and I'll tell you, if you want good historical information about things, the sit down with Jeff Nadeau is awesome. I'm not trying to put that guy down. He's all right in my book. Yeah, he's cool. And I'm just biased and sentimental to old school. I'm a generation removed from his age, and I'd rather hear that argument from someone that was in the life. That's all. Maybe that's being petty of me. Maybe that's being petty of me. But boy, he comes up with fact. Yeah, he does stuff, and and like I said, a lot of this information that you might research could be suspect. It could be suspect. It could be true, but it still could be under scrutiny. Mhm. The devil has more followers than Jesus, but I still chose to follow Jesus. I hear you. Yep. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for Jesus and the angels. Let's hear it because I'm happy I'm alive. I'm happy I'm alive. I'm happy. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it for the people that are in here. Yeah, you guys think I'm immature? Well, maybe I am, but let's hear it. All right, now that we got that taken care of, I prefer mob debates, commentary from a wise guy. That's all. Or somebody that might have been in closer relationship. We'll never see another rock star gangster like John Gotti. And people hate his son. They hate Junior. And we all could be armchair quarterbacks, but it's really hard to figure out what the emotional stuff that goes on with these guys, and they live their everyday lives, and the psychological so FW Fred, they don't have their hand on a Bible when they start their streams. Not if that would matter anyways. Yep. Do you promise not to tell a lie on YouTube, social media? Do you promise? I do. Yeah. I whether I'm right or wrong, and in defense to everybody I've bashed, and they cooperate, informants, whether to stick up for some of these people, but there's what the mafia turned into post Rico and the 20-year sentences they were handing out like candy. It just changed the complexion of the game. It just changed it. It wasn't like them guys would go do 5 years, 7 years, and then get out and then jump back into the game. They were handing out 20-year sentences and life sentences. Now, say you're 25 years old, you're married, and you got 2 kids. And now you got other people that might have ratted on you that put you in this pinch. And now they're coming at you to rat on someone else. Well, now you might entertain that a little more in your mind. You got backed up into a hole by one of your friends or associates or somebody that now got you backed up. And now you might say, you might go do 6 months out of a 7-year term, and they come visit your cell and say, hey, we got an offer for you. They wait for you to fester in there for a little while and think about these things. And then you're more apt, psychologically speaking, you're more apt to break and say, yeah, where do I sign? Where do I sign? And they will leverage up. They will leverage up. They won't make you rat on the rat that ratted on you, but they'll leverage up and say, well, let's go after somebody in the hierarchy. So it's hard. Old school says you don't rat for nothing. Yeah, I understand. Old mafia, you just don't rat, whatever. You weren't smart enough to know that your buddy could be a rat, then you just go down. You weren't smart enough to know you couldn't figure a guy out or assess him psychologically. You weren't smart enough to know that this guy, or he had information on you that you should have kept secret. Because in effect, if the captain or the boss doesn't get you, there's nobody else that should know about your crimes. My godfather did a lot of work for these people. Nobody on these other underlings didn't know what he was doing. So, yeah, I mean, oh, well, he ratted on me. Well, you put yourself vulnerable in a position where he had some kind of knowledge on you. But then again, we got to deal with fabrications, because you're sitting in a cell somewhere and you can lie to the FBI. And the FBI might just lap it up and go, yeah, oh, really? So if a guy's doing a 12 to 15, he don't care anyways. He's got nothing to lose. Let me just throw something at the FBI, see if it sticks. They didn't care. After 3 years of their wives crying and their children crying and visiting and all of that, and they didn't care. So everything changed. I'm old school. And John Alite, he's a good promoter, and you can knock him and everything else. But of all the haters he's got, well, he's got views that get 300,000 views. He's done Netflix, books. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you can bash all these mob personalities and informants. They're getting paid. They're getting paid. They're getting paid. And I'm not. Thank you, Michael, and for the super chat. And Anthony Candinas, thank you for the super chat. I'm finally a pro. I got paid yesterday or the day before. I got paid. Thank you. So I don't like the armchair quarterback that's trying to say stuff about who's right or who's wrong, because I don't think they have a right. I don't think they qualify. I'm sorry. They're very informative. They're very good. RJ Roger got Mike there. Mikey Scars. He's got Mikey Scars there. RJ Rogers got Mikey Scars there. So that's, not to crap on Jeff, but he has a right. He has a right to do it. He has a right to do it. He has a right to do it. And, I could sit here, blah, 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 blah. But I don't care to know his opinion, whether he didn't even give one anyways, but he put it out there good for both camps. He put it out there perfectly. Good journalist. He put it out there perfectly. But I'm old school. Francis, that upsets me to high heaven. See, yeah, and the integrity and everything of the mafia, just it all went. And now, where does everybody get their entertainment from? The failures of the mafia. The failures. Your YouTube heroes are failures in the mafia. Yep. Michael Amari, how's it going, buddy? So that's what you got. You're coming up with content and all that. Well, them guys were failures in the mob. They got caught. They weren't good enough in their craft. They got caught. But they got numbers, they got subscribers, and then they do it. But I don't care if I got one view and one subscriber. I'm more I can't think of the word. I'm more intuitive on that. I'm done calling Mike Francis a liar. I mean, it's old. Sammy the Bull, all that. It's all old. It's old. They want to be clowns. The real wise guys, the old timers, look at them and laugh. They look at these YouTube mobsters and laugh. It's laughable to the old timers that are still in that thinking apparatus in their mind when they look and perceive and assess and whatever they think about this stuff. They were against me, but I wasn't a made guy, and they were like, well, go ahead. You could still do it because maybe down the road, if you get enough subscribers, that you could just do interviews with interesting people and, just run a good talk show. Just do a good talk show with interesting guests and then just do that and maybe do a mob story once a month. So I'm a talk show host I'm a talk show that does mob content, which it's not going to last forever. I want to keep you folks in there and just watch me have some interesting guests down the road if I could get to 1,000 subscribers. So that's that. The soap opera continues, folks. And thank you for the super chat, Mike, and your brother Anthony. I appreciate that. You made me a professional overnight. I got a donation, and now I'm a professional. After 400 videos, them guys, I went all pro yesterday. Now I got to make the all-star game. We'll get there. So I appreciate you guys coming in and helping me. And the numbers are going up. Hit the subscribe, notification, any type, the like button. Cash App is in there, link, the book link, blah, blah, blah. It's all in there. Someday, I'll get there. I don't give up. I just don't give up. And you folks don't give up in what you're trying to aspire to do and achieve and get a raise, a promotion, or have a good relationship, or get off of drugs and all that, or live better, So get in touch with me. Francis, who are you talking to? The other guy, or are you talking to me, Francis? I'm on Facebook. You know my name. Say my name. You know my name. So whatever you're trying to do, hang in there. You can reach your goals. You can do it. You can do it. Like I say, and I end my videos, the world is a vampire. It wants that blood. Michael Amari says, hit that like button, people, even if you don't like me. So you get it all here. And you get a corny stand-up comic too once in a while. Communist that you are. So, Michael and Anthony Candinas, they super chatted me during the chat. It ain't never. Well, I just set that up after 400 videos to be able to get a super chat, and now I'm a beggar. You're begging. Well, hey, what the hell? Give me a little credit. Help. What the heck? I put the time. I put hours in. I put tons of hours in. I do it because it's a hobby, but if you're so inclined to do something like that, it'd be greatly appreciated, But oh well. Thank you, Michael and Anthony, good guys that helped me out there, and you folks might be going through things in your life. You got to stay strong. Just stay strong. People love dirty laundry. They like to see you down and struggling, and they might even add fuel to the fire. I went down 10 years. They're like, oh yeah, that Joe will relapse. Yeah, they're squeezing and rooting for you to relapse. People could be false faces, and you think they're rooting you, you like they're your cheerleaders, but behind their scenes, see, people psychologically speaking thinks that if you're down, that makes them higher. Yeah, they're all that. So I'm higher. I'm elevated. Or I can talk smack about somebody and put them in a lower posture. So that'll put me in higher esteem. That's how this goofy hate mechanism works, psychologically speaking. So that's why you have to be strong within your own essence. You have a chance to come back. Your husband left you, your wife left you, you're in freaking uh dire straits. No, get your freaking weight up, get it up, start over. It's those people that come back stronger. Oh, poor me. The Poor Me Sonata, Beethoven Fifth. Poor me. I lost my job. I lost my wife. I'm on freaking heroin. Poor me, poor me, poor me. Help me, world. Help me. Well, sometimes that help doesn't come as fast as you want it to. Get your freaking mind together. Get it together. Only you can do you. It's nice to have support and well wishers and compassion, but at the end of the day, you got to rock and roll. You got to do it for yourself. You go to 8 million rehabs and all that phony rehab system and all that bull crap and all that wasted taxpayer money. Only you can do you. Oh, Joe, that's nice. Your 10-year anniversary of being clean enough. That's no accomplishment to just be a normal person, not doing drugs, that doesn't do drugs. I don't, yeah, thank you for the well wishers. Yeah, 10 years clean from when I overdosed and all that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't need that. Thank you, but I don't need that. Oh, you're clean for 10. Well, no, I've just been normal, just a regular guy. I don't need any praise to be a regular guy in society. Come on. Come on, man. Thank you, well wishers. 10-year anniversary. Yeah, whatever. Blah, blah, blah. But no, that doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything to me, whether it's a year, a day, 10 years, 20 years. It's my own personal thing that's been publicized. Family and friends know and everything else. You guys know, but that's all. It's not an accomplishment to just act like a civilized human being in society. It's not an accomplishment to not want to do self-harm to myself. Mo Alley come in, Joe, the best channel out. All right. You know what? You know this crazy mofo got to give Mike, Mo. Fuck it. Mm, 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 mm. Oh my gosh, I got to tell you guys something. I talked about that, how you got to be intimate with the cord, like real intimate, to strangle and watch like serial killers or whatever, like uh, 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 a mob enforcer might not choose a gun and choose to, strangle somebody with a cord. Like, well, what is it? An electrical cord, extension cord? Is it like a clothesline rope or whatever's handy? Well, what, you know, but, and I was at the track and this guy came up to me that I knew from years ago, and he thought that like he did something similar to that. And I was just talking in general. And he said, "Oh, what did you hear that?" Well, he did time and everything. And and I says, "Well, I just do a show, blah blah blah." He knew my older brother years ago, whatever, this and that. But he did time for whatever, and he was associated with whatever, blah blah blah. He did that. And it's like, do you just put a bullet in somebody's head, or uh, you have this innate DNA? And he said Now, this guy was a psycho, like the Unabomber thinker, like high IQ, very, very high IQ, but they're psycho killers. And he said, I wanted to see like uh, the process of death in the eyes and something about the soul leaving their body or something. Like the soul will leave the body different than of shooting somebody. I was like, what? You got like levels of death and souls leaving bodies, and what the hell is this? And he said, I just do a crazy show here. I don't know who's watching this at times because sometimes the views get 500, 700, and somebody might just say, hey, just go check out that Joe. Remember Joe Ball? He's on social, YouTube, and everything. And he said, I heard other guys talking about stuff like that, whatever, or like the soul or something. I don't know. Is it a mist that goes into the air, a mist of a soul or a spirit or some bull crap? But he said, wow, you were talking about that. And he's like, well, he did time for that. And I had said intimately, like, it's prolonged. You're watching the guy, you got the thing, and you're like, and you're just looking at the guy's eyes and his face, and he's like, and you're watching, and wow, what kind of person, what kind of animal could like be curious about that? Number one, to commit murder, and then number two, that you get some adrenaline rush, physical adrenaline rush, and you're doing like a level of how the eyes and the soul and the pupil in the eye or whatever is like, God, what the heck? Who the hell let you out of prison, bro? who who let you out? Man, I'm gonna throw this in the garbage. Get the hell rid of this. This guy's freaking into this crazy shit. Who let that guy out? But man, I forgot about that. And well, he seemed like a nice, sensible guy. That might have been crazy, but how do you speak and elaborate on stuff like that where these guys will kill for free? They'll kill for free. Serial killers. There were serial killers in the mafia that would have just killed for free. Jeez. Because they get this adrenaline rush. Some even say sexual. Please forgive me. Some even say they get adrenaline rush and even sexual. And then it's like a drug to them. So the intimacy of that, watching them, they're getting adrenaline or whatever going through their body, and they're just watching the guy, this prolonged, I don't know. I've said too much, folks. I've said too much. Thank you, guys. There's no soul in executions like the Mayor or Kuklinski. Woo, boy. The Hall of Famers. They are the Hall of Famers, my good people. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. So, John A. Light, I wish you well. John Gotti Jr., I wish you well. Jeff Nadu, sit down. I wish you well. It's a soap opera. I'm just getting my little gossipy 2 cents in there. If you want to support the channel, you know where to go. Blah, 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 blah. The like button will do right now. So we're going to 1,000K. Easy. That's easy. 1,000 subscribers is easy for a guy like me. Don't get too ahead of yourself, Joe, because boy, Sometimes that subscriber ticker won't even move. I don't mean to be petty or anything, which I'm about to be. I don't really mean to be petty. And I repeat myself, and I'm about to be petty. But, what the hell does it take to hit the like button? The psychology of humanity and society is like, just give, just take, 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 take. Here, Billy and Sally, how about this? Click. Hit the like button, Billy and Sally, or leave. Get the hell out. Don't get crazy, Joe. Don't get crazy, Joe. Don't get crazy. Don't get crazy. Catch your breath. Here, can you do this? Oh gosh. Here. Oh. What crowbars? These guys got their communion money. They got fish hooks in their pocket when they reach to buy something. Chiselers. I did it again, folks. I lost control. I'm sorry. Robert B. I did it, Robert B. I did it, Robert B. These chiselers. And if you don't watch. Well, it's going to take. Nah, I don't want them people anyways. I don't want them. Just hit the like button and give me my views. That's all. I urinated on the video now. I urinated all over the video. That's all right. We still had some fun. A lot of my demographic might be from the young, some of the demographic of the, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, and which is the heavy side of those demographics. But that's all. Forget the Cash App. Forget the Super Chat. Forget buying the book. Hit the like button if you like me. If you sat through this show for all that, hit the like button. I'm a beggar for the like button. All right. Holy cow. I don't want to elaborate anymore like that because I almost said someone because I keep laughing. Mo, I did it again. Mo, I can't stop. I did it again. You chiseler tightwad mofos out there, you got your communion money and you got your shooks. They go to buy a bologna sandwich at the store, and when they reach in there, oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, well, hey, the economy is rough and people are struggling. And that's, people are struggling. People are struggling out there. So that's that. The like button is free. If you want to ride with me, I'm free. Yeah. Super chats. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to get on up out of here. Beautiful day. Thank you, God. Thank you, angels. Thank you, spirits, and everything else. We're alive. We still got a chance to reach and do what we want to do. We're alive right here today. Tomorrow's not promised. We're alive. Raise up, rock and roll, be the kings and queens of your world. Like I says, the world is a vampire. It wants your blood. You see how that vampire just made me crazy? You see how that demon just made me nuts? We got to overcome it. It wants to suck the blood out of your thinking and everything else. So we got to have a spiritual armor on us. So rise up to it all, and tune in again when the True Serum goes nuts and loses 4 subscribers once again. And now nobody's gonna donate to my channel after that. Nobody's gonna donate after that rant. just hit the like button and watch an old man. Thank you. God bless. I love you all at the end of the day. I love you all.